Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
Good evening, good evening. 8:09 is the time in the studios of Q95 FM radio. It's another Monday night, and that means it's time for the In the Spotlight radio show. Welcoming you from whatever part of the world that you're tuning in from. This evening, it is our pleasure to have you. Acknowledging Q95 FM radio for allowing us to be here every Monday night. Sheridan Gregoire, thank you for your support. Our water is provided by Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, and we thank them sincerely. We thank Jordan Jerome for assisting us with branding our videos. Thank you, Jordan. We have the In the Spotlight radio show page on social media, on Facebook. We have our ITS fans group by the In the Spotlight radio show. You can follow me, Fedina Frampton, on Facebook at my max of friends, so all you can do is follow me in this case. I also have a public page for Dinah Fernanda Frampton that I invite you to like and follow as well. And to you, the audience, those of you listening via radio, thank you for tuning in. And those of you who are already locked on social media, we thank you for joining us as well. When we come back, we introduce our guests for tonight's In the Spotlight radio show. Keep it locked.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m.
Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday nights from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
Those of you who are viewing live on Facebook, remember to like and share our video. Our topic tonight deserves the world. It deserves the attention of the world. So let's get as many persons as possible viewing our program tonight. Thank you to the folks who have shared. I see Glenda has shared it, Fabi has shared it, and a couple other persons. Maxine, thank you for sharing. We appreciate it quite a bit. I'll begin by reading some information from the World Health Organization as it relates to Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. And it reads, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, marked in countries across the world every October, helps to increase attention and support for the awareness, early detection and treatment, as well as palliative care of this disease. There are about 1.38 million new cases and 458,000 deaths from breast cancer each year. Breast cancer is by far the most common cancer in women worldwide, both in the developed and developing countries. In low and middle income countries, the incidence has been rising steadily in the last years due to the increase in life expectancy, increased urbanization, and adoption of Western lifestyles. Currently, there is not sufficient knowledge on the causes of breast cancer. Therefore, early detection of the disease remains the cornerstone of breast cancer control. When breast cancer is detected early, and if adequate diagnosis and treatment are available, there is a good chance that breast cancer can be cured. If detected late, however, curative treatment is often no longer an option. In such cases, palliative care to relieve the suffering of patients and their families is needed. The majority of deaths, 269,000, occur in low and middle income countries where most women with breast cancer are diagnosed in late stages due mainly to lack of awareness on early detection and barriers to health services. There is a story they're referring to later on, but let's just say further, the WHO promotes comprehensive breast cancer control programs as part of national cancer control plans. The recommendation, early detection strategies for low and middle income countries are awareness of early signs and symptoms and screening by clinical breast examination in demonstration areas. Mammography screening is very costly and is feasible only in countries with good health infrastructure that can afford a long-term program. I just want us to start off with some information and some stats from the World Health Organization, and I know our local Cancer Society, they do quite a bit of work as it relates to education and information sharing, as well as providing financial support wherever possible. Let me welcome my guest in studios tonight. Her name is Mrs. Giselle Allport, and it is a pleasure to have her. She's a breast cancer survivor. How do you feel, Giselle? Good evening.
Good evening, Fadina, and good evening to your listening public. I feel pretty good.
You feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to have you. And let me ask you first, how was the drive for cancer care?
It was good. It was good. We deflected a bit, but we had fun, and it was the first one. I think we should probably continue, on a yearly basis.
You actually
actually no. If there is, if
COVID.
yes, threat of COVID, then we may have to use that. The walk is nice. The walk is good for the exercise and so on. But I enjoy the drive.
So either way, you'll take it.
Yes.
Either way, she'll take it. She'll take the walk. She will take the. Let me just make sure I have the right mic open. You'll take the walk, or you will take the drive, whichever one comes. And why is it important for you to just be part of this?
Because I would like to be an example for people who have been afflicted by this disease and are scared to come out. And I know when we start the walk, they always ask survivors to lead the walk, and you can see the reluctance of some people and so on. But I'm always very proud to move forward, because a lot of people do not know that I'm a survivor, because I've never let it engulf my life, So I just hope for the best and do what I have to do.
Okay, and we'll talk about her experience as someone who suffered from breast cancer and who survived it and is here to tell her story today. I will tell you this though about Giselle. Although she will jump in front of the line for the walk-in and so on, it's not something that you've really made public per se, because I didn't know that you were a breast cancer survivor. But you agreed, because this program we're doing tonight is actually in collaboration with the Dominican Cancer Society. And I remember, every year I work with Yvonne, to highlight a breast cancer awareness month. So she told me, can I get somebody for prostate awareness? And I said, sure, no problem. Then she comes again and she says, can I get someone for you for breast cancer awareness month? And I said, of course, Yvonne, no problem. And so, you decided to share with us tonight, and I really appreciated that you consented and you agreed. What made you agree?
It's something, I do it all the time in church. Whenever I get the opportunity to educate people about it, the slightest thing, and I don't hesitate.
Okay.
So it comes out a lot of times when I give the notices at church. I remind people, I've been through it, I did my testimony, I let them know. And I just think it's something that we shouldn't keep a secret, and I've seen people. Like there was a fellow church member, and she never said a word to anybody.
Wow.
That she had done it. She had done thing, and even when she was dying, I missed her in church and so on, and I asked her niece, and so, and thing. But, people sort of keep it in, and I just want to share and educate.
And by sharing, you help others. You help others who may be saying, but I don't want people to know that. They may not want persons to know probably they've had a mastectomy or anything like that. But it only helps others.
Yeah, and it helps you too, because it strengthens you.
Yes.
You can stand up and give your story without hesitation.
Well, thank you, Giselle, for coming and sharing with us this evening. Now, we're not just here to talk about cancer, the dreaded thing. In fact, we would prefer not to have to talk about cancer at all, but we do. But let's get to know Giselle a bit. Now, I must say first and foremost, Giselle, that I admire your style. I admire the manner in which you carry yourself. You're always so well dressed, going to work, very professional. But what I've noticed as well is that you love your culture and you look forward to this time of year.
Yes, I do. And yeah, you can see I'm decked out.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I love it, and more so because I make my Creole outfits.
You make them yourself?
Yes, I make them myself.
Okay.
So it just brings out the creativity in me, and it just makes me a lot of combinations, and I just like it. Left to me every day could be Creole Day.
Really?
Yes, I just love the color. I love the vibrancy. Yes.
Did you learn to sew? Is it something that you just went on YouTube and...
No, I learned to sew because my mom sewed. And she was, yes, and we had the old Singer machine, and it has this big pedal And I can't, when I see it, the machine is still at home, and I can't believe how I fitted under there, because I used to take ride on, while she's pedaling, I'm taking ride with her, you know. As soon as she gets up from the machine, I'm there and I'm stitching my paper. And she kept telling me, you will dull my needles, you know, stop sewing paper on my machine. And, you know, from the time she gets up, I'm sitting and I'm starting to
Oh my goodness.
So I've been into it, and then my first job, I started to make my little, you know, skirts and blouses. I went to work with them, and so she helped me. And then from there,
You just do it for yourself?
Yeah. But I used to sew more before, you know, like actually uniforms and so, but it's just, you know, full-time job and trying to do that late nights, you want to finish, to go to work. So I have this saying that, you know, all shall eat.
Yes.
So let somebody else eat, and they'll sew my clothes, I'll pay them.
Okay.
But
So
I do the Creole ones.
You do the Creole ones, but did you only sew for yourself at the time that you sewed, or did you do for one or two friends?
My niece, Pia didn't really benefit too much from my sewing.
Okay.
My niece, long ago I did, and I started doing for people. There was one particular lady, she asked me to make a dress for her, and I said, okay, you know, enthusiastic, I'll make a dress for her. And then she said, you know, I want my dress for, you know, such and such a day. And then the day before, I just didn't feel like sewing. And I, you know, put myself under pressure because she wanted a dress or your thing. So I realized, you know, sewing is more hobby, and I'll just keep it to myself.
Yes.
It's mood swing, you know. I'll just get up and I'll sew. Another time I don't want to see the machine, you know. So I said I can't, you know, be doing business and not feeling.
Sure.
Did
you get to deliver the dress?
Yes, I did. I did.
Okay.
Yes, but it was under a lot of pressure.
Okay, and you don't like that.
Yeah.
You didn't like that pressure at all. So Giselle, before we start talking about you, seeing that you've already spoken a bit about your mother, let us talk about her a bit. Tell us about your mom.
Mommy was from Antigua.
Oh.
So when my dad went over, I think you may have remembered he had gone over to Antigua to drive for some.
I remember.
And that's where he started. He was very hot in the day. So he had other kids and so on, and then he married mom, and he had 5 children.
With your mom?
Yes.
Okay, where is everybody?
So Lester and I are the only ones here. The first one is in Antigua, Clytie. She actually was raised with my grandparents, so she lived her life in Antigua. And my sister Tita is in Boston, and Hanif is in England.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me more about her. You were talking about her and how she loved to sew. What else do you remember about your mother, especially what stood out to you?
Cooking, and I think that's what, like, all of us in the family, we cook. Everybody loves the kitchen. Yes. And when Daddy got the ice cream van, he started off with ice cream. And then he branched off into food, and so we used to have bread and boljao, meat pies, cakes, all, you know, pilau and everything. So we all as a family used to do the work, you know. So everybody had their grater to grate the coconut. My sister was good on the pastry, so she did the meat pies. And
who chopping up the seasonings.
Yes, and my mom did the cakes, and so everybody had their role to play. And then so every week all grew up in the kitchen.
Excellent.
So everybody likes cooking still, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. You see it in Leicester.
Yes, absolutely.
At the Calypso show, I'm there with him and helping him. Yes. We love cooking, yeah.
Well, Daddy has been here. How is he?
He's good.
He's good.
He's good, yes.
Did he turn 105 or 107 recently?
105.
105. So Daddy has passed the century.
Yes.
And he's still batting and he's still there.
Yeah, he's
still alert?
Oh, yes, yes.
All right. He gave me some coins when I went to see him the last time. I still have those, and I'm keeping them very safe and secure. Yes. But from your point of view, Giselle, I know he's been here. Some persons may have heard the program. Probably some who are listening for the first time probably didn't hear. But just give us a synopsis of who Mr. Popeye is.
Mr. Popeye. In his day, growing up, you know, he was a bad man. You know,
really?
Everybody was scared of Mr. Popeye. You know, he had this, you know, he instilled fear in everybody. You know, and you have to respect him. So you have to, and So that's how we grew up. So we grew up fearful, make sure you on the straight and narrow with him, otherwise you're going to get reprimanded and so on. But he was, the father, especially to me, I was the last. So he took my education very seriously. So there was a lot of pressure on me. I was, maybe the one that had excelled the best in all the children.
For good reason, though.
Yes, and he, any book I wanted, he bought it, and thing, and school shows, you don't miss school. Missing school was like a crime to him. You have to be dying to stay home. I remember once he, always skipping and jumping and playing skip everywhere, and I bust my toe. So, putting toes in a school shoe. And it's not the little soft shoes we have nowadays. It was leather shoes that we wore. And so, I want to wear the little sandals. I said I woke up the morning and I said, I think my toe was, So he said, so what does that mean? So I said, well, I cannot put on my school shoe. He said, well, the toe that burst, put your sandal in that foot. And the other shoe, put your foot in the other school shoe. I said, okay. Yes.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he said, wear a sandal on the one that burst and wear the other one and go to school.
You were in primary school, I hope.
Convent prep.
No, he didn't.
I tied up my toe with my big bandage and bambobo and I pushed it in the school shoe and I hop and drop for the day, but I had to go to school. Yes, you were not wearing sandals. So that was how he was.
So you couldn't try any stunt with your father for you not to go to school. So don't even wake up saying you're not feeling well today.
There was another time I was playing jump rope against Skip, and we had the rope tight. I hope Celia Dillon is listening because it was at her house. And I was jumping over the rope and she had it tight, so we used to spin over the rope. And I spun over the rope and I fell. It was so tight. And I hit my forehead, right?
Oh boy.
So that's another story, You're going to get blows for having a big forehead and so on. You still go to school in the morning with your big forehead. So I ran home, took my shower early, like 6 o'clock and so on. I jumped in bed and I put a copper penny on it and I tied it up. So I said, hopefully in the morning it will be gone, right? Got up in the morning, thing just spread out and I have this big copper sickle on my foot and I'm like, oh my God. So I started to work it in, trying to because if you had only noticed, I would get another scold.
Oh my goodness.
But we got on good and he used to hang out a lot with his friends, like between the two bridges by KFC, there were flamboyant trees all around.
Right.
Yes. And they used to play dominoes and he and his friends and so on. And I always followed him in the evening and sometimes if I know he's going out, I would jump into the car without his knowledge, in the garage, sit down, hide behind his seat and then he just comes and starts the car and goes and then when he's halfway down then I just appear. And so he can't turn back, right?
Oh my goodness.
So we hung out a lot and I would just be there playing with his domino with his friends and I'm on the river wall, I'm down by the river. I used to go across to Pee-wee to get hamburgers and so on. He gave me anything I wanted.
So you had a very good relationship with him.
Oh, yes.
Even today, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Even today. Mr. Popeye, and we know him very well as Mr. Popeye. So that means you grew up in the Goodwood area. Yes, talk to us about, other than the experiences of your father, your own experiences growing up as a child.
We did a lot of work and play. We were serious. Your work comes first. You finish your homework quickly and then you run out to play and so on. So we played in the lanes, different lanes. So your lane is usually all your friends who are there, you get together, you play hopscotch, you play marble hole, riding bikes. So one person would have I remember there was a chopper. I learned to ride on a chopper, a yellow chopper from the Shillingford, and everybody took turns, and they held you until you could get your balance and so on. So we took turns in doing that. We played police there, volley. We did all sorts of things, and a lot of picking of mangoes and guavas and cane. you know. So that was basically what our
Childhood was like.
Yes, yes.
Even in the urban areas,
Yes,
you know, in the urban area
yes.
of Goodwill, you know, you would hear a lot of times that that those who come from the country area would come and talk about they're picking up the mangoes and living in the river and the sea and all of that. But you had similar experiences,
yes,
even right here in Goodwill. What school did you attend?
Miss Winston, for the first, she was located just in Dupini Lane, close to Lindo Park, and she had a school there. And then I went there until I started convent prep at grade 3. I remember Miss Dominic, Andrea Dominic, she's the principal of St. Martin. Yes, I remember her coming to my mother and giving her the paper or the news or whatever that I was accepted in convent prep. So
You remember that?
Yes. I started convent prep at grade 3 until 6, and then I went on to convent high school.
Let us talk about the experiences at a school like the convent high school. What did you love about your school? What subjects did you enjoy most, you know?
Well, I was in the sciences from third form up and so on. But what I liked most, which is very absent nowadays, is the sports. We played, I was thinking, and I said, I think we went back to school every day. Every day we played netball. It was either netball or dodgeball or this. And we were always playing sport, and our academics never suffered. And I'm just trying to, and we were so very active, and the houses and the competition and so on. And I was always into it. And I was at that time I was always say Meg.
Yes,
So I was in everything and jumping high and so
and
I played netball for St. Teresa. I was the goal shooter. I saw the goal shoot and so on. So I did a lot of netball, and we used to have competition at the Windsor Park with grammar school and other schools. But our biggest competition was grammar school. And when we were coming from Goodwill, we would cross the river. We take our shoes and socks off, and then we cross the river and just come right across to the stadium, get your feet dried, and then you put back on you. You lift up and just crossing the river. And so that's how we did it. And netball was over, we crossed back the river and we head home. And so it was a bit, really nice.
It was fun.
Yes.
And you don't see that kind of thing anymore.
Not so much,
yeah. Well, that's become so modernized, and technology has taken over. Huh? You mentioned doing sciences. Why sciences? And did you have intentions of doing, in terms of a career, even at that time, something related to the field of science?
Not really. It was more or less just streaming. The smarter ones went into sciences, and the people who were
So
not
you were
so
one of the smarter ones,
those who were not academically inclined, they went to do the
business
typing
and
business
so on.
and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Right. And so I was, it's chemistry, physics, And my mom said, something, you need to go to typing lessons. And I said, really? And she said, yes, you should go to typing lessons. So I said, okay. So I went to typing lessons. Miss Jules in Pottersville taught me typing, and you're sitting there and A-N-D, A-N-D-B-U-T.
A-S, whatever.
So, and then we made fun of her because she used to wear a wig, and it always had a lot of pussy in it. She never combed the wig. God bless her soul.
Oh my goodness.
She never combed the wig, and it always had things. So she's teaching you something on the tip. There were two of us, Lydia and I. And she's teaching you something, on the typewriter, but we stand.
Oh, checking the lady's hair. Oh my!
But we did learn, and it has really helped me.
I was about to ask, did you understand later on why your mother wanted you to do the typing?
Oh yes, because that's the one that did me my first job.
Is it? Okay, all right.
Yes.
So convent high school it was for the usual 5 years. And then by the time you were approaching the end of school, did you know then that's what you wanted to do? Were you still unsure? Because now you hear children saying, well, I want to be this and I want to be that and so on. Did you know by then?
No, still not.
Still not sure. Still not sure.
I didn't want to be a doctor. I said you have to work too hard to be a doctor.
I agree.
I didn't want to be a nurse, and so I just applied at DCP. Yes, because in the lab, to work in the lab, because you had the chemistry and the physics and all of them to work in the lab. But because of the they had a shift system, so you had to work every shift. So we had 11 o'clock at night to next mornings, 11 to 7 or something, and so on. And a young girl, I'd have to get somebody to drop me, blah blah. So I didn't accept that job.
So that would that have been your first job if you had accepted from leaving school?
Yes.
Okay, so you decided to turn it down because imagine you just leave school, you get in a job and you turn it down, Giselle?
Yeah, DCP,
it would have been difficult.
Yeah.
It would have been difficult. Okay, so we turned down the DCP. What came after that?
And then, I got the job, the typing job at the ministry. There was our road project. I think they were building that Cassibus highway, and they needed a friend of mine, Giselle there, who used to look at the covers with me. She worked at Communication and Works and told me there was a vacancy, so I got interviewed for it, and then I did it. So.
Okay. We should mention that you did get a scholarship to go to convent.
Oh yes, I came out number 26.
Number 26, where you was bright for true. No wonder you had to talk about the smarter ones doing the science subjects.
And my father promised if I got a scholarship, I would get a trip to Barbados, and I did get my trip to Barbados.
Why Barbados in particular?
Oh, because he had a friend there, so that's somebody I could go to. Yes.
So you got your trip.
Oh yes.
Was that your first trip?
Yeah, my first trip.
Okay. And you spent summer vacation or something?
Yeah, 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well deserved. Well deserved. At number 26 scholarship, you deserved your trip. Okay, so you started that job as a typist, and there it is, going back to your mother's words, telling you that you should go and do typing because you're a science student. What you need typing for when you go is in lab or in whatever you're going to work, you didn't need typing, but turns out that it would land your real first job. Yes, tell me about that first job. How was that?
It wasn't too difficult a job, a lot of times it was more preparing timesheets and so on, because we had to go on site to pay the workers every fortnight, so counting the money, packaging in the envelopes and so on. I did some typing, but it wasn't anything big and that I couldn't handle. So that was basically it. It was good.
Okay. So you started off there. How long did you stay in that job?
How long did I stay? Almost a year, I think.
Almost a year. And then what other opportunity came your way?
And then I got a call at convent because the project would wrap up eventually. So I got a call from convent prep. Yes, that my mother-in-law worked there at the time, so I think she was the one who pulled the little string for me. A vacancy came up, and then I went into teaching. So I taught the little ones.
At convent prep?
At convent prep.
How was that? I don't think I could teach though. I don't know if I have the patience for teaching.
It was good, but lacking the teacher training, just being thrust into teaching, it you realize some of the damage you have done, how you could have done things better after you've gotten the training, and so you have the before and after. But during the before, you can really damage a lot of children's future if you do not handle it properly. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because I've seen students who were just the same thing, not academically inclined, but they have turned out to be good mechanics. There's a very popular one. I thought he's a very good mechanic, but he was challenged in school.
Yes.
And
well, not everyone is born to do the academics,
But
we need the skills as well.
Focusing on academics, and you should get this, and and then after a while I realized, you're not going to get anything much from some of them. So a lot of times some of them just needed love and attention. So you had these behavioral problems with them, disturbing the class, and just because they just they were challenged at home too, and so you learn a lot of, and even now they still meet me, say, Miss Joseph, Miss Joseph, And I'm like, wow, look at you.
A couple of them are actually saying hi to you there.
Oh,
They're like,
really? Yes, you know, I'm so proud, you
Yes,
know, doctors,
yes,
and, you
yes,
know, lawyers,
yes.
and I'm like, look at my student.
Yes.
I feel really proud.
yes, they've done well. I would presume most of them, whether academically or whether it's, you know, in the technical field or skills,
Yes, yes.
whatever the case might be. So you did that for what period of time?
Long I was in prep. I think it was about 5 years. Because
5
I went
years?
to teachers college and all that. Yes, so
Mhm.
teachers college is 2 years. Yeah, so maybe about 5.
You would go off to study at some point in time. What did you do before that, even after prep?
Okay, from prep I went into fisheries.
Fisheries?
Yes, another opportunity came, and I was kind of growing fed up of the teaching. I wanted to do something more. Dynamic, and then fisheries came along, and then like, yes, that's what I want to do. You know, you have the field work, you don't just stay behind a desk. So that was, yeah, I like fisheries.
So what did it require from you in terms of the job? What was your job description like?
Well, a lot of my teaching skills helped me a lot in fisheries because I had to do a lot of technology transforming, you know, transforming to the fishermen. So I did a lot of training, navigation. I had done courses, you know, I taught navigation, I taught safety at sea, how to use, you know, the life jackets and so on and things, and long line training. So we had our practicals. We did a lot of practicals. So you get training and certain methods, and then you have to go out and impart it with the fishermen. So
You like
it was
that?
nice. You went fishing with them, you went out on the boat, you sat under the boathouse and spoke with them, you know, just exchange. So a lot of times the teaching is not a formal setting. So you meet the fishermen where they are.
Which is
Which is under the tree, which is by the rum shop.
and that's how it works. That's how it will work. Bring them into a setting of a classroom or something like that, and you may not get nothing much out of them, but you bring them in their natural environment and they pick up what it is that you try to share with them.
And I still have a lot of fishermen, you know, they still meet me and
They bring you fish. Yes, and then so after fisheries, what happened then?
Okay, so I started getting opportunities because at that time the Canadian government was heavily supporting the development of fisheries in the Caribbean and so on. So all my training, all my degrees that and training, formal training that I received was scholarship programs with the Canadian government. So they supported me. So I did a lot of training and meetings, etc. in the Caribbean because we had the OECS fisheries mechanism that all the islands subscribe to. So we had a lot of training with the OECS, and then I went off.
You went to Taiwan at one
I
point.
went to Taiwan too.
And you
aquaculture.
Aquaculture. What is aquaculture?
It's just basically fisheries or aqua meaning water. So all different types of culture in water.
Okay.
So you have the sea, you could have on land. So you have, for instance, in Taiwan, they would raise, let's say, tilapia in a pond, but also they would plant rice in the same pond. So they have, you know, these various different things happening at the same time.
So you learned all of that?
Yeah, so we did a lot of field trips. I saw we had the oysters. We went to oyster farm, and they actually showed you how you get the pearl made and so on. Yes, they insert a little pebble or something, and then the oyster just continue to mix a coating over it, calcium, and then you can just get your pearl from that.
Oh, and soon after that, you also got some training in Canada, and then you would eventually go to Canada for study.
Yes.
Yes, tell us about that.
Yeah, part of the program was the Guyana Methods Technology that we went to Nova Scotia for 6 weeks, and that one we actually went out there, and you know, and although it was in May, was still very cold in Nova Scotia, so you're really out there on the boat and actually navigating and plotting courses and, you know, rules of the road, and it was really in depth. So I learned a lot, you know, coming into the harbour, on which side your boat is coming into a harbour and you're leaving, on which side you have to pass, and, you know, all the rules of the road. They call it rules of the road, but it's rules of the sea. You know, how do boats operate on the sea, and all the rules, the signs at night. When you see a particular sign on the light on the boat, you know what type of boat it is. You know, if there's a tug and a barge in the night, they display, you know, particular things. So from a distance, you know that is a tug and a barge. So you don't pass between, you know, you pass around them and so on. So we did a lot of
Good
training.
stuff. Did you actually go to do a degree in Canada as well? Or all of that was just training?
Well, this was training, and then came back again, and I did my certificate course, which was a year. I did a certificate in fisheries, and then came back again, got another opportunity. I did my first degree, bachelor's.
In your first degree was in
fisheries management, yes.
marine biology. Yes.
My first degree in marine biology.
Yes.
And then my master's was in marine management.
So you stuck around that for a little while until you even actually got degrees in that.
Yeah, and the opportunities were there because it wasn't, you know, there wasn't too much competition for that sort of career. So it was a good opportunity to get, you know, to do your degrees, and so I did all of them.
But do you still do anything in that?
No, but the interest is still there though.
The interest is still there.
Yes.
Okay, do you think it's something that
That's why I told you that the TTV comes 10 days after full moon. But it's late this month because I was looking for it this morning. I said I'll make you some TT records and bring for you tonight.
You see that, eh? Oh.
I did not see the live people with the TTV.
Well, there was some, you know. I think I saw some 3 ladies sitting somewhere. I could be wrong. And probably after you, maybe after you, what time did I come from the doctor's office this afternoon? I don't know if that's what they had, but they had pails. So maybe you missed them, they maybe came afterwards.
They were due, it was due like on the 11th or so. And
well, you know where I work, so you know.
Oh, yeah.
I should tell you guys
rain check.
that this lady has surprised me on 2 or 3 occasions with one of my favorite things, stuffed eggs. So she has surprised me and my good friend while Leandro getting too. But anyway, but thank you for that as always. So you did all of this. You got your master's in marine management, and you did that again in Canada. You seem to be doing a lot of this in Canada. Is that where the opportunities were coming from, or is it that you had connections in that part of the world?
As I said, the opportunities, the Canadian government invested heavily in training and assisting, you know, the Caribbean islands.
Okay.
So I wasn't, there were other people from the Caribbean who had done studies as well, you know, sponsored by CEDA.
So you benefited from that bigly, you say. Yes. So after you got the master's degree, what did you decide on doing? Did you come back home straight away? Did you stay for a while?
No, I came home, and during my degrees, well, I left her when I went to do the master's. So, and then my son Karel, I imagine when I went to do my bachelor's, because when I got accepted, they sent it by fax. Now I had this little fax machine at home, and I happened to be home, and then fax came in. So I'm checking the fax and saying that you have been granted this scholarship. Are you willing to accept? You know, and I didn't even call my husband first. I just ticked yes, and I just pushed it back in the fax machine, and I sent it to them.
You kidding?
So, it's only after I told him, I said, I'm not consulting on that one. Opportunity came, I'm going. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going.
Yes.
And then he was born, and he was born in March. I left in August. So I left him at 6 months.
But Giselle, you brave.
6 months.
Oh my goodness. So as you talk about that, so you're married, yes, and you have a son and a daughter, yes. And your daughter is actually in studios with us tonight. I tried even beforehand to say, Giselle, you think he'll talk to me? And what did you say? No, she's shy.
I said I'll ask her, but I know what the answer is.
Yes, something like that. Yes. So she's moving away further from the mic even as we speak. But you have a beautiful daughter, and your son is younger.
Older.
Older.
Yes,
Okay. All right. Easy.
Yes, he's on island.
He's an island. Yes.
And I'm a glammy.
Oh, really? I like that. So you know what you're right, because look at you. Nice. Congratulations.
She's about 6 now. Yeah, 6 months.
6 months.
Kaya,
Okay.
Allport, yeah.
Okay. Kaya.
And Kia.
And Kia. Oh my goodness. Okay then. All right. So you came back with your master's degree, and you went back into the public service. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I worked in fisheries for a while.
Oh, you went back to fisheries?
Yes.
Okay.
I went back straight to fisheries, and then started. Now you're thinking upward mobility. Because you've been there. And you're looking at those ahead of you, and they're just about your age. So how much climbing
Plenty
you have to climb. And then I got a chance to go into the admin stream of the government.
Okay.
Yes, and I tried it out, and I had to prove myself because you are they call you the technical people. You're not. So I had to work my way and really do my homework, make sure I'm on top of things and present a good picture.
And I'm sure you could do that.
Yes, and
so where did you start off? In what area?
It was I was in Ministry of Communications.
Ministry of Communications.
Powell, Marcella Powell.
Okay.
Yes, she was acting PS, and then she got me to act SAO, which is the level below a PS, Senior Administrative Officer.
Is that so?
And then I worked with her closely and so on, and then I got called to the PM's office. So I worked in PM's office.
I remember you working in PM's office. Yes. So where are you now as we speak?
Ministry of Education.
Ministry of Education, and you hold a senior
administrative. Yes.
Senior administrative position.
Officer. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. What does that entail? Just give us a quick synopsis.
It's a lot of the policy. Government cabinet approves policy. We have to then put it into motion and do and get all the laws. The schools. I work closely with Dr. Blaise and the
and my friend Dion yes.
So on. But a lot of my role is a lot of cabinet paper writing.
Okay.
So they give a directive, and then now we have to formulate
you
it
have to
into
make
a nice story.
Yes.
And then try to sell your story to cabinet so that they will approve whatever.
I see.
So you have to have your supporting documents, your facts, and ready.
Okay.
So I know a lot of that for the ministry. Yes.
And you enjoy doing that?
Yeah.
You enjoy doing
and
that.
the staff, not overlooking, supervising, the staff.
Okay. Nice, good
helping
stuff.
To get up.
So you move from technical to admin, and you're loving the admin as well.
Yes.
But you do miss the technical a little bit.
Oh yeah, yes.
Probably after retirement. Who knows, you might probably go back and get back into that area. Do you go fishing?
No.
Yes.
For
somebody who is involved in that, you should probably go fishing sometime. It's very relaxing, I hear. Yes. It is 8:56, the time in the studios of Q95 FM radio. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. I know we've not yet gotten into the particular reason that we're here this evening, but I thought it was quite fun getting to know a bit more about Giselle. What do you enjoy doing, Giselle, in your free time?
I do, as I said, the sewing. I love gardening and cooking. I do some interior decorating and the free time is very scarce, so you try to fit everything in.
I can imagine.
I'm involved in church. I look after daddy full time.
Yes.
Basically, so it's my free time is very scarce, as I said.
You're always well put together, and this is a good thing. This can never be a bad thing. What would you advise to young women, when it comes to caring for themselves and always presenting themselves well, dressing professionally, just always looking the part, which you do, but you do it in such a beautiful manner. What would you advise to women, especially those young professionals, those who are getting into that aspect of their lives?
Keep it simple, but with impact. Okay, and you always, I'm always one step ahead of, especially when you get the invitations that say casually elegant, or something. I always try to be a little more, so I never get. You understand? You
Yes.
don't get disappointed. Boy, I should have worn that instead. Look at all these people looking at me. So I always try to do it a few notches up.
Oh, I see.
And they're dresses for every occasion. And you don't have to have everything, because I see a lot of people right now in the public service and in the private sector as well, and they go to work. And with these little slinky skirts and they're pulling down every minute and things. It doesn't take much. What I did when I started working, as I said, I started sewing my own little clothes. So what I'll do every month end, I'll buy like
some material.
Yes, and I just grow my wardrobe by twos, and because I still have stuff in my wardrobe from 2004.
Wow.
Because I don't. Maybe now the jackets are getting a little, but I take care of my clothes. I don't just throw my clothes in the washing machine, and I take care of my clothes. I still wash my work clothes by hand, and everything else goes in the machine. But now I throw it in, but not for a long cycle.
Or on the more, there's a nice in between, delicate and the normal cycle that you can put your stuff in.
But basically, you have to. I think it is a distraction. It is a distraction, and especially you walk into work and every minute you're pulling down that something is not right. Something is not right. So you can invest slowly, because even with my Madras outfits every year, you know how this Madras thing came about? When the first stint I did at the Ministry of Communication and Works, from Fisheries, I went into the Ministry of Communication and Works. So at Fisheries, we ate our Creole, made our Creole food and so on, but we were not really into the Creole thing. So I would just wear black pants and a white shirt, I always had my hair short, so I just did the boy thing, And then when I moved to Communication and Works, Creole Day, walking my black pants and my white shirt. When I got there and I saw the girls, how they were dressed in their madras and the petticoat and the thing, I was like, I felt so bad. Imagine I didn't go in any of the pictures. I was just feeling out of place.
Of course, you had to be out of place.
And I said, that is with Giselle. That can never happen again. And from then, every year, I just grew it and grew it and grew it. Every year I just made an outfit, made another one. And, so that's how I did it.
So you must have a whole stack of Creole wear.
And I'm still sewing.
And you're still making. She still makes, eh? Look, Kia is confirming. And tonight, because even look at you, how you are tonight. You're just in this nice mustard dress, your statement necklace, and your nice little massage thing, a madras shawl or whatever you call it over there. And you're beautiful. Yes. You mentioned, and I cannot get away from it, that you've worn your hair like this for a while. You always love short hair, or?
My hair, I always wanted longer hair.
Okay.
But my hair never grew beyond a certain length. And, it was difficult to just get it in one. I don't know, whatever it is. It just never grew longer than. So after a time, you got all these nice short hairstyles and so on. But then the hairstyles started becoming expensive because you have to do the curling iron and so on. That was costing like $25 a week. And if rain happened to wet it in the week, that's another $25, so it might be 50 for 1 week, and so on. And I couldn't do it myself because rollers are out of style. You have to use the curling, and I just never got it. So I said, you know, one day I said, you know, let me go the cheaper way and just do the boycott. It was $10 at the time, so $10, 10 by 4 is what, $40?
$40.
Yes, and twice, sorry, every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
Yes.
So $20?
Yes. And I said, that's so much cheaper, and then it just always fit my little face.
Yes, it does. That's what I was about to say. It fits you quite well. It works.
Yeah.
So you've had it that way for how long?
Way back, you know.
Years.
Yeah, 19... Wait, which one?
We're in 2020.
Yeah, when I studied 97, I finished 93 to 97 was my first degree. And I remember going to a barber because it was growing, you know, in the winter it's growing and I don't know what to do with my hair, texturize it, do all sorts of things. And after a while, you know, it's just like, I just want it off. And I remember walking into a hair salon, right, a barber in Canada. And I said, I came to cut my hair. First of all, he's looking at me because a white man, right? And, you know, everybody has straight hair. And I come with my little picking hair, you know. And I said, he said, why are you here? I said, I came for a haircut. And he's watching me, a haircut? I said, yes, please, just cut it off for me. And he was so hesitant, you know. He's like, what? That's a mortal crime. And then I found a black barber and then I still go to him. So,
last thing before we move on. So you decided to take part in a pageant? Yes.
Okay. It was my decision.
It wasn't your decision?
No, I was forced into going.
You were bullied?
Yes.
In a good way.
So there was the public service day and I was at Fisheries.
Right.
And they said public service day, it's a difference. We're going to have a pageant this year. So every ministry or, you know, they try to get people to compete. So I remember somebody came to me, I think it was Doreen Fabian, you know, who came and said, would you like to go, why don't you represent Ministry of Agriculture? So I was like, me, not me. And I said, please, all the ministries have somebody, but agriculture doesn't have one, and we're looking at you, I think you'll do a good job. And then I said, boy, what's wrong with these people? Anyway, I sat there just in the waiting room, and then I saw we always had this little canoe as, you know, for display. And I looked at the boat. Now, when I saw the criteria, talent was 40 points. So I was like, oh, okay. So I said, okay, that boat is going on stage. I don't know what's the talent here, but that boat is going on stage. And I said, 40 points. I said, okay, I'll do it.
So the boat inspired you to make your decision?
Because I said, I know that boat is going to kill them somehow. So 40 points, if I have that, then I go to go with the others, right? And so on. So anyway, we accepted. Then we did our little skit, we put little pato in it. The thing, Matt Peltier even did an ad for me, you know. Yeah, Matt was in my thing, you know. And so on, it really went out and so on. When I did the talent, so we got there, and so it was about 6 competitors. When I walked in, I even had chaperone, you know, Jessie Bruni. Jessie Bruni was my chaperone. So I borrowed, we had business wear. I borrowed something. I borrowed a bag from Ruth. I had a red shoe. I think she lent me a jacket. I had Gina lent me a white inner shirt. And my casual wear was mine. I had a black and white top and a white pants and so on. So when we came in and I saw how I was dressed, so I have my nice white pants, black and white flary top, and so on.
At that time, that was in style.
When I saw the girl came with the one I felt that was my competition, when I saw her, she had an acid wash dress on, a skirt, and I said, okay. And she's going on stage, so I said, okay, I kill her, I know I kill her. She was my competition. I said, okay, I have talent, I have that wrong. Now when Jessie came, Jessie had a black hat, broad hat with white little edging and so on, and I had a black and white outfit, and I was like, just before I went on stage, you know, with my first round, I said, oh Jessie, no, that hat, put that on my head, and I put the hat on my head, and when I walked out, man, there was a palm tree, and I just posed, because boy, the crowd was
wild.
Now, the morning was when I crammed my speech,
right.
So I wrote my speech, because you have to talk about your ministry and so on. So whilst I'm ironing and getting ready and so on, my clothes and things like that, I'm cramming the speech. So I'm cramming this speech, I'm cramming this speech. So I said, I know I have the talent and things. So no, when I came to the Arawak, I said, I know I'll be them in talent. I see how this girl is dressed, so wrong one is mine too. And so on. So I said, okay, this speech alone that's left. I said, Lord, just let me get by. So I started, I crammed this speech. So what's the thing? I'm saying my speech, but I'm looking up at the light because I said if I just look down and see anybody I know, I'll just go off. So I'm looking at the spotlight, and I said, Lord, I'm almost there. And people even said that this speech was written up there somewhere because I just kept my eyes on the light and so on. So. But anyway, the talent was the highlight.
Yes.
So I did all my thing about,
no evening wear?
No.
No evening wear.
No,
Okay.
it was business, casual. The first one was casual, the talent, and then business wear.
Okay.
And then you gave your speech.
Okay.
And then I had my little boat and so on. So I did all my thing. It was talking about safety at sea and how all the fishermen always getting lost, and I need to tell them all what they're supposed to buy and so on.
Good
now,
stuff.
Sharon for it. Now, she was my co-worker. She was on front seat, and she helped me with the talent. So she's saying it whilst I'm saying it. I said, oh. Anyway, she paid. But then when you're finished now and so on, I got into the boat, and then I said, whatever I said, that is why I have to sell my fish $5 a pound. And I just took my oars and I started to row, and my boat started to move, and I heard the Arawak was on fire. I said, okay, I have them.
You win.
So when I went through this speech, I said, okay, God, thank you. I know I have the crown. And that was it.
And you won. So Carleen is viewing, and she's saying she might have been the one with the acid wash.
Yes.
So Carleen, wait, you that had the acid wash.
See, that's something always a few notches above.
Yes.
I said casual wear, but she was very casual. I decided to go a little, and then I had the edge.
Well, congratulations to you. Yes, good stuff. All right, 9:09, the time in the studios. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk some more with Mrs. Giselle Allport, and this time we're going to focus on a breast cancer situation that she dealt with, how she dealt with it, how it came about, etc., etc. So guys, stay tuned. Don't you all move a muscle. We're coming right back. Just a quick break. No long break, just a quick one.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday nights from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. intriguing and entertaining. A must listen to. In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
Hey JL, just saying good evening to you. JL, earlier on when I started this program here on Q95, JL actually worked here at Q95 and really gave me some support in starting off this program. So just saying hi to you, JL, as I just heard you doing this short reminder there to listen to the program. We didn't talk about Giselle's love for carnival and independence and all of that, but we will before we wrap up the program, so we can definitely wrap up on a happy note. Giselle Allport is a breast cancer survivor, and I know this is a sensitive area for some persons who may be viewing or listening right now, especially my good friend. She knows herself. She told me it might be difficult for her to tune in, but I see she's here, so I hope she sticks around to listen to Giselle's story here tonight. Breast cancer. What is breast cancer, Giselle, as far as you understand it?
Well, cancer is it's a proliferation of cells, so they sort of multiply very quickly,
Right.
and then they sort of take over the body, but the breast cancer is just the location that it will, it happens in the breast. But yeah, that's basically what it is.
You are described as a breast cancer survivor. How did you discover that you had breast cancer?
It was the 30th of June 2007. It was the last Saturday. It was the last Saturday in June, and although at that time I was in the Prime Minister's office, but my heart was still in fisheries. So every year we had SSMR Day, Soufriere Scottsdale Marine Reserve Day, where all the schools from around the island, the school children, gathered at Soufriere to have this, day of learning and activities. So I always did it when I was at fisheries. So I decided to go, and I went to my ex-co-worker again, Sharon Corriott. I told her pastor and we would go. And then I just had this sudden pain, and I said, on my upper right. And I said, wow. So I'm trying, I'm driving, but I'm trying to, and even at, sometimes it became very difficult to even turn the steering. I said, I have this pain. So
Where exactly?
It was right on the upper back, at the back here.
In the middle of your back, on the which side?
Right side.
Right side.
And I said, Sharon, I have this pain thing. So she said, don't worry, when we go, we'll soak in the sea, And so, soak in the sea, she massaged me and so on. So I said, let's go up to the hot water in the afternoon, let's go up to the hot water. So I said, we'll take a good soak. She still was massaging my back and so on. I think when we came back home and so on, the pain is still there. So it's like Saturday night, I started to, I did what I have to do. When I lay down the night, I said, no, let me just touch my body, touch everywhere to see what is happening. And I just started to touch everywhere, just starting myself. I said, but why is, and then I just got to my breast, and I said,
oh my God.
I have a lump, man. You pass the finger, I have a lump, man.
Oh my God.
It's the same side, right? So I didn't call anybody that. I didn't tell anybody, but I think the following day I called my sister-in-law, Patsy. And I said, Patsy, I think I have a lump in my breast. So she said, oh really? Well, we have to go to Dr. Paul. Dr. Paul was the man. So we went the following week. I think she came with me. I think Patsy came with me because she was concerned and so on. So when I went, he felt it and he said, yeah, indeed you have a lump, so we need to go in there and do a biopsy. So that was, my biopsy was the 12th of July. So it was almost 2 weeks later. But I for some reason I felt it was 1 week, but anyway, my date says 12. So we went in, he set the date for the biopsy. So I got there in the morning at the hospital, he said to come in and so. And then he said there are no beds available. No, I wanted for him to give me anesthesia. I didn't really want to sit through that. So he said, well, there are no beds available, and if I give you anesthetic, you would have to get a bed because you have to be admitted. So he said, your only other option is to do a local, and you just remove it. So I said, boy, I want it done today. So I said, okay, I'll brief it, I'll do the local. So he did his local, and you can actually deny going shower. So anyway, I did it, I braved everything. I took it, and he cut it off, and then I actually...
He cut what off?
He got the lump. So he cut around the lump. So he cut the breast and went in and got the lump out. And then I remember it just happened to turn, I saw it, I put it in a little glass bottle, it was a little yellowish little thing, looking thing with little, and they took it away. Now Patsy's there because Patsy is, as I said, worked in the lab and she always there for support and so on. So that is like Thursday, he did his surgeries on Thursday. So Patsy now is the one who actually works on specimens at the lab. So she took it and that's her baby. So she's working through it. That's to stay 24 hours, blah, 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 whatever. Saturday morning, she calls me. Giselle, I have your results, but I cannot tell you what it is.
Is the doctor who has to tell you?
Yeah, I hear the tone. I didn't go to school in summer. So I can't tell you what it is now. But if you want, I can go to Dr. Paul's office with you for him to give you the results. So I said, but I said, why is it she think
you pass out?
Because she would have had some excitement if the results were good results.
Sure, is your friend.
If you want, I can accompany you to I said, that's bad news. So I braced myself already, right? Got dressed, we got an appointment, I think it was about 1 or something like that. I drove down, I got her, we went to Dr. Paul's office. So he said, I'm already nonchalant from where, the cancer is positive in her.
Just like that?
Yeah, So,
oh my.
Yeah, so then...
No camouflage in it?
No, Patsy's crying, right? Patsy started crying, I'm sitting watching Dr. Paul, said, okay, yeah. What's next? And so he said, well, we can remove the lump or remove the breast. So I said, something, doc, cancer thing and so on, let's just take up everything.
So right there you made that decision. Did you know what stage it was by that time? Or could the results tell you that?
Yes, it was stage 2.
It was stage 2?
It would have told you, yeah, because he also removed, I have the story wrong.
Okay.
No,
try to remember it.
Yes, when he did the mastectomy then, we also did the lymph nodes. You have to do some lymph nodes. So if you have a certain percentage of lymph nodes positive, then you know how much it has spread.
Okay.
Because the lymph nodes are in your arm,
right?
So we did that, and then you get, based on the science, he figured it was stage 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had some lymph node infiltration.
Already? Okay.
Yes, it started also. Yeah, so that was the 12th, and then we said the mastectomy for the 19th, the following week. So it was just
right away. Did you do regular mammograms before that?
No, I don't think. I don't think I had started yet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I was 42 at the time. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Giselle, well, I want to ask you your age. I feel you'll shock all of us tonight. Yes, just try to make light of the situation a bit. So, so you feel a lump. Your back area, right side, painful. You decide to touch up yourself and to figure out, maybe you'll discover something. You discover something. You go to the doctor. Comes back as cancer in your breast, positive. And how did you feel? Because your friend was crying, but you were not.
It was, I think, I was going fine because Roland Roberts, she was my buddy. She was alive at the time, so she really gave me support. So he gave me, I got the news like the Thursday, so we said, okay, we have, I had to get her books for school, her uniforms, and so on. So she assisted me with that. We went around, and she was really, my support. And then I was going fine. I started to call people who had been through it, and so on. They gave me names. I called them. How do you think? They said, oh, okay, it's not, a big deal, and so on. So, just be strong. It's not the end of the world, and so on. I was going fine. And then the last, I think it's the day before the surgery, she took me to Pearls. Pearls was on King George V Street at the time. We were having lunch. As we were about going to Pearls, I met another friend of mine, female friend, and she said, "Well, Pops, what's that I hearing about you now? You don't think you should get a second opinion? Or you don't think you should go away?" And that just broke my spirit because I had braced myself. I was ready for the following day, right? And I just
broke you
and
down.
I started to think. Then I started to doubt my decision. I went by I went by another lady whose daughter is a doctor in the States, and it really just upset
So now you
my
want
whole-
everybody's opinion.
Yes, because it just
Yeah.
Anyway, I still got the comfort, and so you can go ahead. And then I went online because I started to think, boy, my social life. I love to go to the beach. I love to go to the river. How am I going to do that without, having one breast? Guy told me take it all off, and I had no plans of doing reconstructive surgery because I always felt like if you're going to put a foreign object in there, silicone and this and that or whatever, how am I going to? It's so difficult to feel a lump in your natural state. You're going to put a thing there, and then you have to, you're not sure it doesn't belong to you or something, So I said, something, just say, Dr. Paul, just take it all off, and I will fill in the gap with
Whatever, yes.
and so on. And I didn't want to think of any chances of it coming back, and so on. So I said, just take it off, Doc, and so on. And then I went online, I said, I searched for swimsuits, and I said, they are mastectomy swimsuits. Well, like, good to go. And that was it, it was like, yes, I know I can go to the beach. Yeah, I could still wear my strapless. I could, I think I was good with that because I just couldn't figure out how I could move forward, with one breast. So I said, anyway, I think so. We went in and so on. But then the day of the surgery, I told because I was at that time on contraceptive on the pill, and then they said that the estrogen contributes to the growth of the cancer and so on. So they said the best thing to do is to stop it. So I said, something, maybe that's just an opportunity now for me to do TL, tubal ligation, and just do it. I'm going under the knife, just do everything. So Dr. Paul agreed, no problem, we'll do a TL. Right?
So you did
double whammy.
Giselle, you're a very brave person.
I never, I just didn't want to have to go back to the hospital and go through all that. I said, I'm under the gun already, just take it off.
So you had a TL, and for those who don't know, that's removal of...
You cut tying your tubes.
You
cut the fallopian tubes, so
right.
the eggs can't travel
okay.
for you to get pregnant.
Okay, so did you make that decision based on the fact that you were going to have the mastectomy and you didn't think you would have more babies, or what?
Well, I was already done with that.
Oh, you was already done with that, so no more brothers or sisters fake here.
I was already done with that. So I said, Doc, just take it off, and so I won't have to rely on contraceptive on the pill,
right?
Which is a contributor. Well, at the time they were saying that it contributed to type of cancer.
So that was your decision.
Yes,
and that was the decision why you did the TL at the time.
Yes.
So you wouldn't have to take birth control.
Yes,
I see
about that factor.
Okay, all right.
So I did it. So we went into surgery. We had fun. My brother-in-law was here. I said, I showed him. You have your surgery gone, right? So you have to wait until your turn. So you starve all morning from midnight, and you're waiting. You don't know when Dr. Paul is going to come for you. So he came to see me, and I said, I opened the gong. I said, boy, take pictures of the breast because you're not going to see it again, And so we had all this big fun, and I told him, boy, I want to come back as a 42 double D and all kind of things. So I did the surgery, and then when I came out, everybody was, at that time, it's only now we kind of accept cancer a little, but it was like a death sentence. Everybody wanted to see. Oh my gosh. So when I woke up out of sleep about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, like a whole bed surrounded by people and flowers and fruit baskets and everything. And I'm entertaining them, I'm entertaining them, telling them all about this breast that is gone and whatever it is and so on, But then I'm laughing, right? So I'm giving them jokes, but I'm holding my stomach.
Yes, because you also had a TL.
I had stitches on.
Yes.
So that wasn't nothing really, it was like this one.
Oh,
so I'm walking around, so this was, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do to myself?
Exactly.
I cannot walk and feel because I have stitches down there and everything. So I had to, he put in his drain, to drain out all the fluids and so on and thing. And then, so that was Thursday, he came Saturday and he said, this drain is still in you? I said, yes, doc. I told the nurses, gave the nurses instructions. So I said, okay. He said, sit up. So I sat up. And so on, and he's talking and he's upset because the nurses should have taken out the drain, And then he's talking to me, and by the time he just put his finger, I was like, I just feel the snake just passing.
Oh my
and he
goodness.
just pulled that thing off. Before you even, and that's how Dr. Paul operates, before you even have time to think, he does what he has to do, And I just feel this thing just right up, and just pull it off. And then the Sunday I was discharged, and then
what was
to my in-laws, and they took care of me for about a week and so on. And then I went home. But that was my little nurse.
How old was she at the
How
time?
old were you? 207.
Yeah, I was 8.
She was 8 years old, and she was there giving you that support that you needed.
Yes, I remember we used to do laundry, I put the loads in and so on, and then I'll be handing her the clothes. She put a little stool, get the clothesline, and I pass her one by one, and she pegged them on. But it was
your little angel. Yes. But how was the recovery overall?
It was it was just that you start to think, because it's healing, right? So you feel a lot of zaps, and then I swore one day, I felt something like jump from that bracelet, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's spread.
No.
You just feel, you kind of get paranoid, and then you know every little thing is like, boy.
The brain, the mind going wild.
Yes, but I did a lot of reading and so about it and so.
And that was back in 2007. How have you been since? Do you have to do annual?
Yes, I followed the oncology clinic for a few years, and then when the Dr. Malaka, I was a little Indian doctor, after he left, I sort of just went to my private doctor. But I still do all my tests and so on.
And your tests have been good, I pray. Yes, everything has been good so far.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the dressing up and the so that they have nothing on you.
At all.
Absolutely. So you figured out your way around this thing.
Yes.
You did. So when just earlier on, I spoke to you about the mammograms. So you had not been doing regular mammograms. Is that something you think that probably if you were, that you would have probably discovered earlier?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Because it would have shown up, because for the size it would have shown up on the for sure on the mammogram.
And so I'm sure this is something that you would like to guide persons about in terms of ensuring that you do all the annual checkups, whatever you need to do for early detection.
Yes.
Because imagine I'm Giselle, that I've gotten to a stage 3 or even a stage 4, it would not have been, and you were really such a good sport about the whole thing, you were really truly a good sport about it. And I think you're a good example for anybody who might be going through this right now and, wondering how to deal with it, both mentally. And you mentioned support, support must be critical.
It is.
For some, for a situation like this.
And especially for during the chemo, because after that now we have to take chemo.
Well, it's a good thing your hair was already short.
So we had this the Dr. Calendar was here, a female doctor, and she said, okay, I went to her, we have to do 6 cycles, about every two weeks. So 6 rounds of chemo. So it's like about August, September, I think it was. Yeah, September, I think. So as soon as she gave me, I said, okay, doc, and we are starting on such and such a date. So first thing I did, pull out my calendar and I count how many six was going on. I said, okay, it doesn't interfere, it finishes before carnival. Yes. So I just didn't want it to run into, I could sacrifice independence, but carnival, yeah, so, but that was another.
I've heard that chemo is terrible. Is it? Or everyone has their own experience?
People react differently because people have different regimes, and not everybody is not cut for everybody, the same way. So my own was the red Kool-Aid, which drops your hair and so on. And it's red. We call it the Kool-Aid. And when I did the first one, intravenously put the IV in your hand, I came out, I did it and so on, and I walked out. Patsy was always there by my side, and I'm like, that's not too bad. I went home, I ate food, and I said, what are you talking about chemo? That's not bad. First one, I said, by Sunday, I did my Tuesday was chemo day. Yes, so by this Sunday or Friday, I started.
Started falling off.
Ready. And so on. And I'm like, what? By the following week, I just went by Richie. I said, you don't cut it off, it's going to drop off, so just cut it off. And then it comes right off, so you get a shiny bald head, no eyebrows, and things like that.
No eyebrows?
No eyebrows, everything drops. Everything.
In every area?
In every area. That was another funny one. You think like, what is wrong with it? It just drops, yeah.
Yes,
so,
yes.
But and then you think that as you do every week, every 2 weeks you do the next one, it's going to get better. You're going to get stronger, but you get increasingly sick.
I see.
Yes, your body just can't take it again. So
what does it feel like, Giselle? Do you feel sick? Do you feel your body weak?
You feel nauseous. Just want to vomit, things turn you off, and you just feel like very useless. You can't do anything. You just want to lie down. You don't want to bother people. You don't want people to bother you. I always said, if I could just go on a mountain by myself, and for the week, it usually lasts a week before it wears off. I would be, I would do that just to be away from people. I don't want to bother people. Certain things you just don't want to eat, and you can see your body is just starting to lose weight because you have to drink a lot of fluids to try and flush it. So they say coconut water and low beer. No, low beer, the green and white. That was the water at the time. And I drank so much of that for dinner to try and flush the system. When I was finished with my chemo, coconut water tasted like chemo, low beer water tasted like chemo. I couldn't drink them again. You drank so much trying to just combat it, and just tasted like it. I remember the last chemo session, I was so, it's almost like I don't want to go, and I sat there in the waiting room. As soon as the nurse opened the door, the scent came out into the passage, and I just had to run to the washroom. Everything just came out. And I remember reading, a lady said on a blog that she saw the doctor who administers the chemo, she saw him in the mall, and from the time she saw the man, she vomited,
Oh my.
Yes, and it's really...
So it has that impact.
Yes, it's just, and then, you think, like, I'm not a person, I'm not a weak person, and, I thought I would be able to stand up to this thing, the last one, and I vomited, I was like, wow, it's, yeah. But then you get over it eventually, but it's...
Well, you're definitely a survivor, my dear, especially deciding at that same time to do another surgery. My goodness, you're strong and you're very brave, and you must be commended for that. At what stage did you get involved with the Dominica Cancer Society and their activities? Was it around that same time? Did you turn to them then, or was it later on?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's just a few years now. Maybe about the past 6 years. I'm not integrally in the group.
But you take part in the
I took part in
activities.
the activities.
Yes.
Because, yeah. It's just that you know when you just have a feeling that if you just go join that group, they want you to give you a position, and I just kind of wanted to just stay far. I didn't want any more added to my plate, so I just will assist, from a distance.
Okay.
But with the chemo, what I would like, like people who have to go through or who have been through, with chemo, it destroys the good and the bad, right? The cells. Now, your white blood cells, that one is very important for your protection. And what happened when I did it, the wound didn't heal yet.
Okay.
And I started chemo, and my wound didn't heal. So it took a long time because your body
Yes, need those cells to heal.
To heal.
Correct.
So it took. It's
good cells.
only after I realized, and like BNT powder, all things you could think of, I used to it took a long time
to heal.
Because every time it started to sing, and then I did the chemo, it would just open up again.
Okay.
And it took me, it took a long time to heal. So that would be one of the advice that I would be people be careful.
Allow it to heal if possible before you go into
the chemo. And then when you're doing chemo, like you are just so susceptible, you are immunocompromised. You don't have anything in your body.
Your immune system is just compromised. Yes.
The normal for white blood cells between 4 and 10. And I was looking at some of my results today. One was 0.8. 0.8. And I remember once I went to the doctor, because you go to on a Friday, she will check your levels, then you do your blood test on Monday, and so on. And when she saw my results, I went to her and she said, no, I used to do the chemo on a Tuesday, stay out from work up till Friday, because I would go down by Leicester and just hang out from a distance. You can mingle with people. It's something like COVID. You don't want to catch anything because you cannot fight anything. So I would be there but sitting away from people. But just, a little barbecue chicken I'll maybe have or something like that. So I would go back to work the Monday, then work the week. Because I didn't really want to stay home and just be looking at the sky thinking about this cancer thing. So I told them I want to work. So I'd work the second week up to the Friday, start doing my test, and then it's due the Tuesday. So when you do your test the day before, Monday, if you are not up, not good enough, then they have to cancel, postpone the chemo, because that means your body is just too weak.
Yes, to handle
your
it.
cells are just to go. So main message: your body, you cannot fight anything. So you have to. You understand? You either stay away from people if there's something coming on. Because I remember Dr. Calendar wrote up a page for me, if anytime. She said, anytime you feel anything coming on and you have to go to the hospital, you don't go to the casualty. Take that to the ward and show them that page.
Okay.
And it was IV and the strength and everything. One time.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember one Friday night I started to feel like something was welling up in my throat. And then Dr. Paul called in augmentin, and I went and I got it. And by Saturday morning, you could feel, but I felt something was coming. I could feel a gland, and so on. So you're really, really susceptible. So you have to stay. You cannot fight anything. Anytime you feel a sniffle, you have to go and get something to take internally because your body can't fight it.
Did anything change for you after this experience? One, in terms of diet, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of life in general? Did anything change for you after that experience? Or did you have to change your diet, for example?
Well, I tried, because at that time now, after the chemo, so you have to build your body back. So you have to take a lot of leafy green vegetables to build the blood and the iron and so on. So we had to, a lot of spinach and things like that. And then the exercise, less sugar, try and eat more salads and less fried food and so on. So I mean, occasionally you feel for KFC, you go, but it's not every week you have to have KFC kind of thing. But I consciously try to have a balanced diet. My beans and my, you know, greens, my green bananas and so on, and try to and do the exercise thing.
Okay.
Exercise.
Life in general, did it change anything for you?
It gave me a new outlook on life. Yeah, and just my mantra is live every day like it's your last, you know, and really I try not to stress the small stuff. And so things I fretted over, and I realized it's not worth it.
Telling you.
Because, you know, they always say that cancer and stress love each other. So you just try to be, more relaxed, do more meditation, and just kind of calm down. Because I remember there was a time whenever I landed at Melville, there was a particular porter always came taking my bag. And I would say, please, leave my bag. Leave my bag. But every time I come again, he'll take my bag. And he just doesn't hear. So one day I said to him, look at this face. Do not touch my bags when I land. But then, before I did that, it was like your pressure almost shot up every time you saw the person. And so on. And I'm like, why am I making that guy get under my skin? And I gave him the message. And from that time, he just pass my mumble and just leave my bags alone. Yes. We have this thing, But I still, every time I saw him, I just got so.
You got so agitated.
But, try to just calm down. I try not to. When people are getting all worked up, I just remain in my calm state, and I just start to, reflect and see, where the solutions are. I had a very similar case. When I was trying to get her to Dominica, because she was in Florida studying, and then her classes were going to be online, so she said better she comes home. No, that's just when the airport was opening up. Actually, it was the day after the airport opened. But I knew from experience, my experience in life, that as soon as they open up, the protocols are going to change depending on what happens. So I'm trying to get her in quickly so that, when she's here, okay, they can do whatever, but she's home, right? She couldn't get, it is in Florida, can I get a test in such and such a time?
Wow.
It took her about 12 days to get back her results and so on. So when she found out St. Thomas had, you can get it within the time. So she went to St. Thomas. Bought a ticket on a plane that doesn't exist. A flight that wasn't existing. Anyway, it was a big long drama, but I'm trying to get her, I'm all worked up.
Yes.
I'm trying to call the minister, why is it, the plane doesn't have a license and thing, and I want her to come because I don't want the test to expire on her again, and I want to get her out of St. Thomas. And I'm going, and trying to get another airline, it's filled and whatever. And then one day, so it's like Saturday, she's trying to come home, and it's like Thursday. And then I just stopped. But wait a while, there's something missing from the equation. I said, God. I never turned to God.
Oh.
I was just upset with everybody not doing their work. I said, wait a while. I never spoke to God. And then I just calmed down for Dinah. And I just said a prayer. And I said, God, it is in your hands. And I forgot you. Sorry about that.
You apologize.
Yes. And then everything just fell into place. Everything fell into place. She got on the airline, she got home, she was saying by Saturday. And I just realized, and I just relaxed my shoulders.
Yes.
I said, God, it's in your hands.
Yes.
And then everything just started to work.
You see?
Yeah. But I always try to keep calm.
Yes. That's important. In terms of cancer, did anyone in your family?
No. Yeah, the only one.
So this just showed up.
Yeah.
So nothing about grandmother or somebody in the family along the lines.
Anything, no.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right, 14 minutes moving up to the 10 o'clock hour, and we just heard the experience. I see quite a bit of conversation going on there on the live. People have stuck through, by the way. Our numbers have not decreased in terms of our viewership. So thank you to those of you who've stayed with us and remained connected and linked into the program. So we're just gonna get off on a lighter note. So you are no, before we go to that element, what would you like to say to anyone who is going through the cancer experience right now, whether it be breast, whether it be prostate, whether it be any type of cancer? What is the advice that you would give to them right now in terms of dealing with whatever they're going through?
Even before talking about that, I think in general, we as humans, we need to know our body, understand our body. Anytime you feel something is not right, go, get an opinion about it. Because if you get to know your body, you realize something isn't right. Because when I came, I went up to the States last year for vacation. And then when I came back and so on, and the barrel came down after and so on. And then I was, for about a whole month, every day I was getting heartburn, indigestion. If I ate a little bit, if I ate a lot, I got indigestion when I went home. And I said, what is this? Every day indigestion, every day indigestion. And then I said, something, let me go do a colonoscopy because something ain't right. My stomach is a real tough stomach, and every day I have indigestion that all of a sudden, I said, So I went to Dr. Sanchez, a nice cute little Dr. Sanchez.
I go to him for that similar stomach issues.
Yeah, I mean, he did his panscopy and thing, and he said, everything, Giselle, everything is good. I don't want to see you for the next 10 years. It's very good, it's very clean inside. But at least I knew I got it over with. I got to do a colonoscopy, and I know well, okay, for the next 10 years I am okay because everything was good. So people listening, if you need to go do a colonoscopy, you can go to Dr. Sanchez opposite Housebro. That's free advertisement. He's very good, and you need to.
Did you get the anesthesia?
Oh yes.
Because they attempted to do it to me the first time, and I pushed his hand or whoever his assistant, and he says, no, you don't push the hand of the I said, well, it was painful, I couldn't go through that, I was feeling like I was choking, and then they put me on, they told me, they had to put me on the anesthesia for it. Yes, anesthesia is interesting. When you get up from this,
so nice. It's like a nice high, okay, I just want to lie down a little bit. So, but dealing with it, get the, first you have to have a positive attitude. I have this thing saying, I have cancer doesn't have me, so you have to hold, you're going to deal with it, you're going to handle it, and you have to be strong. You have to be strong physically, you have to be strong mentally, and always maintain a positive attitude. Try, there are some people who just come with negative, you think you're going to die, you just try and cut these people off. You tell them nicely, yes, you come to see me or whatever it is, but I would like you to, stay away because I really don't need any negative energy. And believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. You have to be strong. Put God into whatever you do, and you can fight this battle. Another thing, if people, the treatment is very expensive. And the Cancer Society, thank you to them. They are coming on board to assist people, but it is expensive. And I remember telling my staff there was a certain insurance company that was offering $50 a month for against breast cancer, for special insurance for that. And I had flyers, I gave it to nobody bought. I said $50 a month. I said a lot of times it's not the cancer that kills people, it's the price and how much it costs, So if you have something that can help you, or some insurance, if you can invest in that, that would be a good thing. Because cancer is going to be with us, so we just have to take the necessary precautions.
All right, really good stuff here with Giselle Allport. I really want to thank her again for agreeing to be here on the program and sharing her story with us. I hope she has been some kind of inspiration to anyone who needed that inspiration tonight. I hope that you listened and that you take the advice that she provided in terms of what you should do, the attitude, the approach, the supports, you know, that kind of thing. 8 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock. Yes, 2 hours flies by. One of them said 2 hours go by very, very quickly. So Giselle, before we wrap it up, you're a lover of independence and you're a lover of carnival. What is it about independence that gets you so excited?
Yeah, I like the dressing. I like the, you know, the carrying of the you know, it just looks so grand. You know, and you just carry those costumes. I like the color, the vibrancy. I'm a colorful kind of person.
Because of COVID, things are a little different this year.
Yes.
You know, a lot of our activities have been forced to be cancelled. World Creole Music Festival, naturally, once that one is cancelled, the Flow Creole in the Park has to follow suit. So no Creole in the Park as well this year. Quite a few activities have been shelved because of COVID, but that does not mean that we cannot dress beautifully and enjoy our
Creole
food,
the crab.
Yes,
yeah,
you know.
Posted
Oh
something.
yes, yeah. They don't cook yet, you know, but hey, it's a cook. Have you organized your outfit already for Creole Day this year?
No, that's why every week I make one. So
Oh, every week you make one.
We're still
Yes.
working on them.
But
So
Creole
one for
Day
Friday,
is
one for the next, and one for the next.
Do you make one for Kia as well? Or?
Yeah, she just put in her request yesterday.
She put in her request only yesterday. So that putting in her request, does that mean she gave you a design and everything?
Yes, yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
So Kia, you're really not gonna say anything to us tonight. Very beautiful young lady. And then right around the corner comes Carnival, which is another favorite term. Yes. What is it about Carnival? What do you love about Carnival? Is it the calypso? How do you participate in Carnival?
My carnival, well, I've been going to the calypso shows and so on. I love the calypso too, but my thing is the costume, the jump up. You know, not just jump up.
You mean Carnival Monday and Tuesday,
Yeah.
but you mean
Costume. Yes, so you know, I start with Juve, costume, then you go into Old Mass, the sensei. I love my sensei. I love my sensei. So I do this sensei, then it's Clubbed Monday afternoon, and then Tuesday is costume band. So I like to be part of a group and not just dancing around. So I do the costume thing, and then by change again, last lap, do a little chip, and by 6 o'clock, one thing, I have all my fun, but by 6 on Tuesday,
You finish with that.
I'm ready
Yes.
to go, you know, I had enough. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, go, I have my uniform, get ready for work next day, take out all the funny paint or whatever you have on you, and I like the calm after the length and everything just goes down. Yes,
so you love your carnival and you love your independence. And as we said, because of COVID, you know, who knows what will happen when Carnival comes around, because we're seeing in the areas like the United States that it's not getting better, you know. And so let's hope that it can get better from our end. But even if it does, because of what may happen in other islands and other territories, it may continue to impact us to the point where we cannot probably have. So I think people need to be mentally prepared for all of that and just understand otherwise cannot be done right now. In terms of your personality, I know we're going to wrap things up in just a while. Yvonne, did I say Yvonne? Giselle. Yvonne is probably calling our names. I hope you tuned in, Yvonne. And it says, talk about spare time, not much at all. Her time is taken up with family, church, and her father, who she cares for along with her full-time job. What stands out to me here is that she's everybody's consultant and go-to person, often refers to herself as Mother Teresa or Mother of Sorrow. She doesn't know how she does it, but by God's grace, she gets through all the same. Go-to person, consultant. Is it that you are the type of person that is open to listen? to advise, to help? Is it that we speak about here?
Yes, that's part of it. And when I was in the office of the Prime Minister, I had this old diary that I kept. I call it my black book. And I had a lot of men. I call it. I always say I have a lot of men because the PM pipe wants to fix now. I need a plumber. Electricity is gone. The stove is getting a problem. So I had a stove man, a gate man, a garden man, everything, mechanical, this or that for the PM. So I call it my man book, But from that I have, I got a lot of connections made and so on. So a lot of people still tap into that. And I said, such and such. The other day somebody asked me, how do you I want to be my granny wants me to be what do you call them? When you take over the thing.
Okay. Yes. I'm
senior moment.
We both have in that senior moment. Help us, those of all you online. When you can speak on behalf of the person or make decisions on behalf of the person. Yes. All those of you who tuned in, tell us what it is. It will come to us.
Yes. And then this guy thinks, boy, I have to do my house, my granny's house, and so on. I need to do that, So I said, well, you can either go to a lawyer or things. So I said, okay, let me go online. I just went online and I saw a sample and I said, okay, I think it out.
Power of attorney.
Power of attorney.
Thank you. Elizabeth.
Long night.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
And so I said, me came to, and I said, okay, we can do that, I can draft it for you and so on and things like that. And so, but people come all different types of things. Do you know somebody who does exercise? And no, I may not. Oh, but I think such and such. So they always tap into
helpful. Yes, you're helpful.
Yes,
you're helpful.
And a lot of times, I remember once the particular case. I was in Ministry of Housing. This government had acquired this guy's land, right? But he had a little tie-up with his brother and so on. Now the guy is a big guy. He works with a company in town, big company. Big guy. And he was irate. And he came, right? But it's me, he has to come to him. My door is closed. And he's letting my junior staff have it on the outside.
Oh, wow.
And I'm hearing him and loud, right? He's big. Oh, you can't find money. I'm not living in it. And so on. So they called me on the phone. So I said, send him in. So he came in, he opened the door, he knocked, he opened the door, and he was like, I said, excuse me, could you have a seat, please?
Correct.
Because he's standing, I'm sitting, right? So he's up there.
So he's towering over you.
I said, could you have a seat, please? He sat down. I said, hello, me and you having a conversation. The people outside don't have to hear. And he just went right down. And everything, I explained to him all the steps you have to take and what I have done, what I need to do, When he left the office, he said, who is your family? And I said, Lester is my partner, we boy. And when he was leaving, he kissed my hand and then he left, right? Happy because he's making progress.
Yes.
Then the girls came after he left. They came and said, Mrs. Allport, we were scared for you. How did you make that man come down like that? I said, don't worry, I just started to talk softly and he just had to lower.
Yes, because if you raise your voice,
he just going to blow the ceiling. And I told him, it's not that I'm not helping, but there were some hurdles and so on, and it's like, oh. Yeah, but that's with experience.
Yes, and it's important, always good to help people, to be kind to people, to be helpful in whatever way that you can, especially if the person probably doesn't have another option. So continue being that way though, Mrs. Allport. Continue being that way, being kind to people and being generous and helpful. It's 1 minute past 10 and Kia still didn't say anything to us, but it's all right. We'll accept her smiles, all the nice smiles she gave us for the night. Giselle, we have to wrap up. I'm going to give you the opportunity to share some final comments with us, and we bring this to a close.
Okay, my final comments. First of all, I would like to thank everybody who's been there for me through my, my ordeal, my family, my friends, and I thank all those who have confidence in me, who think, that feel free if you can call me if you need that extra support, and as far as I can help. So that's basically what I want to say. And just always, as I said, positive. Keep the positive vibes.
All right. Folks, that is... Oh, thanks so much for a great interview. You're welcome, Colleen. Is she welcome?
First runner-up.
Oh, she was first runner-up. Well, Colleen is the acid wash dress that killed you. That's a wrap on the In the Spotlight radio show for tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning into the program. Until next time, good night.
Good night.
Thank you for listening to
One last thing.
We would love to hear from you.